Hello everyone, we're back. This episode's called The Final Key. It looks like we're fighting AZWEL. This might be the end of the main story, but there is some post-story that does further the story, so we will be doing that too, because it's relatively short. Anyway, that place was filled with the clash and clamor of battle! Everywhere I looked, groups of Aval soldiers fought desperately against the qualifiers. Before I knew it, I'd lost sight of Natalia and Dion in the fray. Thank heavens, the idiot who's reading this line of dialogue now won't have to do Dion's voice, because that was a mistake, but he's sticking with it. As I made my way upstairs, the sound of battle grew dim. Eventually, the only sound of my footsteps echoing through the silent hall as I left my friends to die. The Hall of the Chosen was just ahead. Once I opened it up, I saw a copy of basically every video game, every epic novel ever written, just lining the walls.
Yep.
The Hall of the Chosen was nothing like I'd imagined. Largo? Yeah, I was playing a game where there was a character named Largo, so I just sort of filled in the blanks. Moving on.
Okay, then.
The Hall of the Chosen was nothing like I had imagined. Large gaps in the crumbling castle walls led into the quiet, silvery let in the quiet, silvery light of the moon. The Chosen One trope has been used so much it's starting to crumble. Evacuate. Illuminating AZWEL, he turned to face me as I entered, spreading his arms wide. We should...
That was very rude of you to keep me waiting, my friend. But I know you would come.
Come on, you're not using enough shoulders. Get more into character! I look around, but it was just the two of us.
Relax.
More high-pitched, damn it!
Just the two of us! No one shall disturb us. Wink. The others have their hands rolled downstairs.
Oh, yes, they do!
But it is such a tragedy. They are killing each other over this. Is it not?
You had such a long inhale, I was waiting for you to scream, what? It appears that... Challenge accepted. It appears that the ceremony had yet to begin. I needed to act fast, and I ready my weapon... Okay, this is just offensive. I needed to ready my weapons, and AZWEL grin and broad. Don't kill me, audience.
My, how strong you have become. I knew it. You're perfect. For you to make it this far shows how close to the gods you are.
Well, I mean, I am the one who's the person who's being controlled by the controller, so yes. We're getting Tron philosophy up in this bitch. Seeing the puzzlement on my face, AZWEL sighed, wagged his finger in disapproval, and said, "Dumbass on the couch, that was a terrible joke."
Think for a moment. What do we need to create the ultimate seed?
Genetic modification and carrier pigeons?
Oh, I have no counter-argument to that. Firstly, we take the power of the spirit and gear swords. Then, we mix in the energy of the heavens. Today, celestial spectacle. And the energy of the earth. The ley lines. Even those fools at the AZWEL organization would no doubt have figured that out, even without my research notes.
Okay, but you talked about mixing all these things, but you didn't list portion sizes, so this is not a valid recipe. I'd like to see your homework.
Shut up! My reasoning is very scientific,
I skipped,
and that reasoning is shut up. And what is it we lack? Something to create a...
Yeah.
However, that alone is not enough. Why, it could destroy a country or two. But that's boring. We are aiming to change the very world, my dear.
touch me again and I will break every finger in that hand.
We are still missing one key component. Something that can absorb power, amplify it, and lose it with exponentially greater force.
Yeah, I know that was my fault for skipping the dialogue, but AZWEL seemed like he was a skipping CD right there.
In other words, you.
Sorry, but I have a restraining order. You were required to stay 50 light years away from me. To my surprise, AZWEL pointed at me. Except it wasn't a surprise, because I had seen the previous dialogue.
The moment I laid eyes on you.
Bad touch.
I knew you were the one.
Sunshine, you're on the right track for a punch in the dick.
A human who is able to absorb the power of the astral fissures.
With his butt.
A human can even claim the power of the astral chaos. However, when we first met you, you were still too weak for my needs.
So you're the Black Knight from Fire Emblem.
So I allowed you to live, knowing you would become more powerful eventually.
So you're the Black Knight from Fire Emblem.
I bided my time until the day we would meet again.
Repeat the last two jokes.
Oh, and here you are. Everything has led up to this one perfect moment. Today, you and I are part of a beautiful miracle. Two men having a baby.
Well, that would be a miracle.
Yep.
I was about to throw something at you, but I'm like, no, you're not wrong. AZWEL lifted his two swords menacingly.
All that remains now is to force the power of these blades to resonate with the power inside you.
Make up your own double penetration joke here.
Oh. Chaotic energy and the might of these swords will intertwine, amplify, and burst forth. Then and only then will the ultimate seed come into being and cleanse the world. Though you will most likely die in the process, your death will not be in vain. You will be the stepping stone for humanity's great evolution. Oh, what a glorious, happy fate!
Sorry, I'm just posting something on Discord.
Oh no, don't tell me you think to resist. Fret not, I will give you pure ecstasy, that I promise you. Insert double entendre here.
Do we even really need to add that tagline at this point?
That's fair.
I think we should say, don't insert double entendre here if we don't want it to be taken sexually.
Insert double entendre about insert here.
Do we need to replace every noun with the word vibrator? All I have to do is impale you with these vibrators. I did say noun, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I have a tendency to flip.
All I have to do is impale you on these swords, and my plan will succeed. So come, let the finale commence.
It's time for us to climax this battle. Let us bring it to a glorious finish. This victory was a long time coming.
Orgasm.
We're going to hell.
There's a place reserved for me. It's called Satan's bedroom.
No comment. I will say I visually like AZWEL's fighting style. Yeah. So even if the character doesn't come back, because on the one hand, I kind of like that, our jokes aside, he does seem to be a bit more colorful and vibrant compared to other Soul Calibur antagonists. It's like, even if he doesn't come back, I kind of hope his fighting style sticks around. It kind of reminds me of Necrid, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I can see that.
Granted, I prefer AZWEL's visual aspect to Necrid's. Also, I was surprised to find out Necrid only ever appeared in Soul Calibur 2.
Yes, penetrate me.
Just because the dialogue that he has between Talim in his arcade story, it's like, I figured he must have been a long-running character like Siegfried who had just become a monster, you know, but nope, that was his first and only appearance in the franchise. So I'm wondering, since, you know, we did this fighting game... Oh, wait, no, we can't do that one. We already... Never mind, ignore that.
Ignore me.
Yeah. I was about to suggest a game, but it's like, wait, no, that was a game I said that someone else needed to play, so... And because I don't want to promise anything, because that may or may not actually happen, I'm just not going to say what the game was.
Okay.
Just because, well, Abby and I, back when it was still... We were still couples therapy, and we didn't... Yeah, we were still where everyone else was just guests. We started playing 2 different games. We talked them up in other videos, and then they never saw the light of day due to a couple of reasons. Oh my gosh, this is almost a cutscene. Oh.
I knew you would not disappoint. In that case, I shall have to show you the ace up my sleeve.
It's a vibrator, isn't it?
Oh, hello.
I will not be defeated. Using you as the key, I will save the human race. I am so close, so very close to the moment my beloved humans shall be freed from their cruel fate. Let's be done with this. Will you stop me and emerge victorious? Or shall I claim victory and lead humanity to a new era? With all my might, I shall make you mine!
Now, admittedly, he kind of looks like the villain from Soul Calibur 4. Now, admittedly, I never, even though I own Soul Calibur 4, I only played it, like, once for, like, 2 seconds just to kind of see, because it had the Apprentice from the Force Unleashed, and Force Unleashed is my favorite Star Wars game, so I played it, like, once just to play through his story mode, or the arcade mode, and then I never touched it again.
My journey's end.
Okay, this is probably the legit finale of the core gameplay. You know what I kind of find funny about this, looking at it? Because remember how I mentioned Mortal Kombat earlier? Well, Shao Kahn, in, like, the main villain of the first 3 game... Well, he wasn't the villain of the first game, he was the... He's the big bad of the second and third game. Like, you fight him in the climax and everything. His fight is infamously, like, one of the hardest things ever. And, like, no joke, Mortal Kombat 9... I only was able to beat the final fight of the game by spamming a single attack. I'm not proud I did that, but I spent like 2 hours. Like, I'm sure I did like 20 to 30 plus times trying to beat him until finally it's like, forget it, I can't do it.
Come on.
Oh, what's kind of funny about it is that, and why I'm bringing this up, is that his design kind of reminds me of Shinnok's final design for Mortal Kombat 10. Well, one of the things that everyone pointed out is that after Shao Kahn in like every single timeline of both the original and the reboot, they're supposed to introduce these new big bads. You know, it's like, okay, Shao Kahn was just an immortal king from another dimension, Shinnok was meant to be an actual elder god, you know, a bigger and badder threat. But mechanically, he's not as hard of a boss fight, so he didn't leave a very big impact on anybody. And then again, in Mortal Kombat 10, even though, again, Elder God, he has this super big, super powerful form that, again, this kind of vaguely reminds me of, but he wasn't as impressive of a boss fight as, you know, the person he's supposedly supposed to be stronger than, you know? And that apparently was just sort of a running problem with the Mortal Kombat franchise. They never could get a better villain than Shao Kahn. At least, again, that was as hard to beat and, by extension, as satisfying when you actually did beat him, you know? And again, who knows, I might not even be able to beat this guy for the same reason I pointed out in past videos. I don't use AZWEL's fighting style in this game. This one, like Soul Calibur 6, my favorite style is Geralt, hands down. I like Gro's, okay.
I'm not good with traditional fighting games.
I hear ya. Like, I think the only fighting game I got really good at was the first Budokai game. Mainly because the combos, because you could kind of extensively customize your character with what combos you wanted them to have. I got to know them pretty well. Plus, admittedly, I feel that the game was a little slower with the window, or not slower, but it gave you more time with your window for inputting the commands, so pulling off the... I'm just saying, I think it was a much more basic fighting game. Mm-hmm. And I mean that in both a good for new, you know, people who don't play a ton of fighting games, but also bad because, honestly, it's like, it's very basic and it probably won't give you as much of a return, you know, return investment after a couple playthroughs, you know, whereas if you care about getting good with like this, Mortal Kombat or Dead or Alive, you'll be practicing it for a good while, you know? I just remember as kids, and I don't just mean as us, I mean, because like I was introduced to it through some friends. The first thing we all did, and we just all had a mutual respect in, you know, the Budokai games. You charge up your ki so everyone can go Super Saiyan at the start of the fight. Mm-hmm. Or whatever equivalent the characters had. That is something I will admit I didn't like about the first, or Tenkaichi 2, I think that's the one we had for the Wii, is that I know that, you know, Krillin is human, can't go Super Saiyan, but in order to make sure that, you know, the characters were still useful, he had a powered-up mode. Problem with the Tenkaichi games, if the characters can't go Super Saiyan or literally transform, they aren't very good in the grand scheme of things. I mean, okay, you could probably still play as them and do good, but at the same time, they would be quickly outclassed by much better characters. I don't think you played Tenkaichi quite as much as me and did.
No.
Ow. Yeah. Still, I think my favorite Dragon Ball game is probably Xenoverse, just because I'm a sucker for a custom-made character in the Dragon Ball universe. Because, hell, one of my, you know, in one of the first books I ever thought of writing, one of the characters started life as a Dragon Ball Z fan character, so that idea appealed to me greatly. I think we'll be back once we get somewhere.
If we get somewhere.
If nothing else, we can quit. Maybe pick a different fighting style.
Yeah.
So, just saw this snippet from SNL Weekend Update. It was, I think that was the actress from the Ghostbusters remake. I don't remember her name. Woo! Basically, she went on. It's like, did you know Oprah was fired at age 23? That was a mistake. No, it wasn't, because she wasn't Oprah yet. She was some punk ass, some young punk ass who needed to be fired so she could become Oprah.
Yep.
Like, yeah.
All right.
An actual cutscene.
Over yet.
Well, of course not. The credits haven't rolled.
I shall free humanity.
Oh, we had to switch our fighting style because we're getting our butts kicked. Yeah, I love this. And yes, if we had picked the more chaotic options, we would have pulled Soul Edge out.
Die, potato.
You are the one I sought.
Damn straight. I am curious, if we'd pulled Soul Edge out, do you think would it have been like the red crystal on his other gauntlet that shattered?
Probably.
Like I said, I did Soul Calibur too, just because I'm the type of person who plays good characters always, so. The torrent of light consumed my body, and I began to slip unconscious. It was finally time to die. So melodramatic. But I was ready to accept my fate, no longer afraid of the cold hand of death. The ultimate seed was more. I had played my part.
That would have been a very different ending.
Yes, it would have. When I opened my eyes, I was in the ruins of that place.
A victory was a now on a deed, but AZWEL's schemes have come to nothing.
Oh, no, that's just rude. Zasamel was standing by my side, and his hushed silence surrounded us. I thanked him for everything he had done for me, and I asked what he would do next.
I shall continue to observe the world. I wish to see what the future that began holds today. Be proud, Fluffy. You don't only save yourself, but the world.
I parted ways with Zasamel at the castle and soon ran into Dion and Natalie. No! Stop rubbing it in! I nodded and explained everything that had happened. Incredible, we have done a great deal today. We have seen the limited to be open to streaming on our brains. Be still in best brigade. I believe we could rest easy here now.
Seeming the Queen of Bears to remain, we have to get the serpent seed. They should be easy to take care of. Thank you for leaving.
We will continue working with you.
If we discover any new information you can use, we will send a messenger. The location of extra fishes, for example. Agree. Enough taking, we must go, Dion.
We're done. As my journey came to an end, I reflected on everything that had happened. I thought I had started off fighting for my life, ended up fighting to protect the world. I thought about what I had achieved and where fate had led me. If I had fulfilled my purpose, what should I do next? Couldn't decide just yet. For now, I would rest and ready myself for my next journey. Yay!
Woo!
Okay. That was an incredibly long episode, but we are now done.
Alright.
See you next time.
Bye, guys.